edition of the Verde Valley Experience. I'm your host, Jennifer Cohen. Another great show lined up for you today. As spring turns towards summer, you know, this is a lovely time to be here in the Verde Valley. I certainly love it, and I hope that you're loving it too. As usual, our show, we have a great lineup of guests willing to share details all about the happenings and the opportunities here in our area, as well as educate us on interesting and relevant subjects. See, who else do you know does that? From Cottonwood Parks and Rec Summer Camps Division, we have Youth Programs Coordinator Kirsten Hastings along with Camp Counselor Robert Valentine. They'll be here to share with us all the details about their annual summer camp program. This rocks. Such a great program. I'm so excited they're here. We'll hear all about this fun opportunities for kids to stay busy during the long weeks of summer. You'll have long vacation. You got to keep them active, keep them interested, keep them healthy, and keep them out of your hair, right? With all kinds of fantastic activities. We'll hear all about that. Also here with us today is Ginger Mason. She's Verde Valley's own leading turquoise authority. This is very, very cool. Ginger has over 25 years of experience dealing with this magnificent mineral, and she's going to share with us some of the facts about this beautiful semi-precious gem and all the ways that you can tell a fake from the real deal. So that's important stuff. On May 30th, which is a Saturday, the 4th annual wine symposium will be held at the Clarkdale campus of the Yavapai College location by the Verde Valley Wine Consortium. They're going to host that. Their mission is to promote, enhance, and connect every part of the wine community in the Verde Valley. It's very, very important. We've got such a great wine community going now. And here to tell us about this event will be Yavapai College Viticulture and Enology students Bill Anderson and Lisa Russell. No better people to talk about this than those guys. They're going to be here. Then we'll go on location to Sunset Crater with 35-year veteran volunteer park ranger Floy Healer. Very cool gentleman. Roughly 900 years ago, the eruption of this volcano reshaped the surrounding landscape and affected all the people, the plants, and the animals. So Floyd takes us on a hiking trail through the lava flow and the cinders, and there we'll discover colorful and rugged, dramatic geological features left behind by this volcanic eruption, which happened just north of Flagstaff. And we'll round out our show today with musician Eric Williams. Eric plays piano, sax, guitar, harmonica, and more, all while adding vocals and sometimes doing impersonations of all our favorite artists. Maybe I can convince him to bring out some Elvis. You know, I love that. From ragtime to rockabilly, everything in between. It's going to be a good time today, so make sure you stick around. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our summer camp program over at the Cottonwood Rec Center, one of my favorite places. Kirsten, thank you so much for being here. Kirsten Hastings, who is the Youth Programs Coordinator over at the Rec Center there. And we have Robert Valentine. Robert, thank you for being here. How long have you been a camp counselor now?
This will be my 3rd year.
3rd year. That's fantastic. Kirsten, how long have you been involved in the youth programs?
2 years now.
2 years. Excellent. Boy, it feels like I've known you guys forever. I can't believe it's only been that long. You run such a great program every summer. I would not survive without these folks, I have to tell you. The summer camp program is fantastic. The kids come home exhausted every day and so excited to get up in the morning and go back. So you know you're doing a good job because all the kids just adore you. So congratulations there. And what do you have in store this year?
Well, we're going to stick with our basic horseback riding and canoeing and fishing, and we like to go with a new theme every week.
Right.
Last year we had, well, we talked about the solar system, and we made moon clay, and then we made a scale of the solar system. And then we also had a theme one week where we went to the Prescott Heritage Park Zoo. We talked about animals that week, and that was a lot of fun. We had a great time at the zoo.
Yeah.
So a lot of fun.
I forgot about that. You guys do themes. So every session, and it's a 2-week session, is a different theme, which is amazing. So if your kid goes for all, how many sessions are there?
There are 4 2-week sessions.
4 2-week sessions. Every 2-week session has a different theme. Who comes up with that?
I do.
You do.
That's my job.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for coming up with that. So do you know a couple of themes you're going to have this year?
We'll probably do a repeat of the animals because that's always fun.
Oh, huge hit.
Probably sports. And definitely Amazing Arizona. That was a big hit. We went up to Jerome's Gold King Mine. Last year, the kids absolutely loved it. It was a lot of fun, lots of really cool stuff to see up there. So we'll definitely try to bring that in. And of course, swimming. We'll do swimming every day.
And more swimming.
Lots of swimming.
More swimming. I don't know if you've been to the rec center. What's wrong with you? Have you not been to the rec center? Gorgeous pool, huge outside pool.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Yes, swimming, and more swimming. I mean, that's what summers are about for kids is swimming.
Yeah.
And they're definitely going to have that for sure. And then you also supply food.
Absolutely.
Which is amazing that it comes with food.
Right. Well, we usually participate in the summer food program that this year it's going to be at college. I can't talk today. Cottonwood Middle School instead of Cottonwood Elementary School.
Okay.
But then
kids
we
are
also
moving up.
Yeah. So they're changing up. It's closer, so that's
Oh,
nice.
nice. They like that.
Yeah. And then we also offer snacks in the afternoon and try to stick with some healthy snacks to
Sure.
you know.
So as a parent, it's wonderful to know that your child's going to be fed snack and lunch, so you don't have to think, oh my God, you've had all school year to think about, what am I going to make for lunch? Oh boy, you don't have to do that. So parents get a break too, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
Now there's 2-week sessions. There's 4 of them. The first one starts June 2nd and runs until June 13th. Now it's $140 for the 2-week session, or you can do $90 for 1 week, or you can do $20 a day.
You can do $20 a day as a drop-in, yeah.
Okay, as a drop-in. $20 a day! How do you do that for $20 a day?
Exactly.
That's a long day.
Yeah.
You know, that's from, let's see, 8 a.m. until 1:30 p.m.
Right.
And that's for the camp. But there's also after camp.
Exactly.
The camp that happens after the camp. Which is really, really cool. That runs from 1:30 to 5:30 for those parents who maybe continue to work during the summer, like most of us tend to do, and you may need a little extra time. Well, the Cottonwood Rec Center's got you taken care of on that from 1:30 to 5:30, and that's an additional $100 a session. So you're still talking about $240 for 2 weeks of camp. That's insanely inexpensive. I don't know how you do it for that, so thank you very much. You guys obviously work for free.
Well, we have a good time. We enjoy
Yeah,
the kids.
I bet you do. You get to be kids. I mean, it's too much fun. Obviously, it's rewarding for you, Robert, because you've come back 3 years in a row now.
Yes, it's so much fun just getting to hang out and play with the kids. You know, we go swimming every day, and they're just so much fun to be around them. The energy they have, just every day is a new adventure.
That is true.
Quite the imagination, these kids.
I know. Do you get to go horseback riding and canoeing and fishing?
Sometimes. They really enjoy when I do.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. That's really. How about you? Do they get you on a horse?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And who else gets to go to work and go horseback riding?
I know.
mean, that's pretty
Cowgirl
awesome.
Kirsten.
That's right.
That's fantastic. What a great job you guys have.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Now, to sign up, I know that they can go to the website. They can go to the website, and the information is all there, or they can give you a call at 639-3200. You can check that out too. And then, of course, you can just go in to the Cottonwood Rec Center. They're lovely. They're friendly. Go up to the front desk, say, hello, I'm going to sign my kid up for all 4 weeks, and throw down your checkbook or whatever works for you. How are you doing on your space available?
We have some space available still. I know we've got some kids that have signed up already, but we still have space available, so bring them on down.
You take a lot of kids.
We usually hit about 40.
Yeah.
So.
Which is a decent amount. I mean, some camps it's limited to about 12 kids, but since you've got such a large staff and such a large facility, you're able to accommodate that. Now tell me, what is the age range for the kids to participate in the camp?
From 7 to 12.
7 to 12. That's a very nice age.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's a very nice age. I'll have to, I can see when Oriole gets to be 12, it's going to be like, not yet. Oh, not yet. But it's at the end of summer, so we'll squeak one more year. Be terrible if it was like in the middle and she'd miss it. So yeah, 7 to 12. If your kids are 7 to 12, you're going to love this camp. It is absolutely, absolutely, absolutely awesome. And let's see, what is the favorite thing that you guys notice the kids really love of the activities? I'm sure it's probably across the board. How can you go wrong with fishing and canoeing and horseback riding? But what do you think?
I think canoeing's probably their favorite.
Yeah, canoeing or horseback riding. I know we get a big turnout for those days.
Oh, yeah, those
Really?
those are
enjoy
hopping
going
days.
horseback
Awesome.
riding.
See, I can understand the horseback riding. I'm a horse person. Canoeing, I'm like, really? Canoeing? I would have thought fishing. So that's amazing. You just don't know how kids are.
Yeah.
And they catch fish, which is great, because going fishing and not getting anything is not very exciting.
Yeah, it's not a lot of fun. You know, you always have to explain them. It's not called catching, it's called fishing and patience. And yeah, the kids are like, I don't care. Just put something on the hook, you know.
Exactly.
It gets boring after about 2 minutes if nothing happens. But I've heard wonderful reports about the fishing at camp, that things are actually caught. So you must
Just
have...
about all the kids get a fish in the course of the camp, so they have a lot of fun with that until they have to take it off the hook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then they're like, ew, Robert, come here.
Exactly.
Do you use real bait or that fake bait?
We use real worms.
Real worms.
Yeah.
Oh, do you spend all the time worming, Ryan?
Part of it, yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the gross one. Yeah, nobody wants to touch the worms. So
not
everybody
very
wants to
fishy
pet the horse,
afterwards.
but nobody wants to hook the worm. So, but it's so good for kids to remain active in these wonderful activities that they may not be able to have, at home. I mean, if you're a working parent, you may not have time to take your kid fishing or canoeing or horseback riding or have the money to do that.
Right.
But with the camp being so reasonable, you can do that, and kids can have this wonderful thing. Thank you for having this program here in the Verde Valley, for the kids here, and for the wonderful job that you guys are doing. And your wonderful attitudes. You're always so smiley. I can't deal with 40 kids and keep smiling. I don't know how you do it, so bless you all for that. So go ahead and get yourself to the website. There's the form there that you're going to want to see. And you want to sign up now, because space is limited to 40 kids and it will fill up fast. Absolutely. It's been pretty full every year, I noticed, for sure, because I've told people about it and they've gone, oh, it was full. I'm like, well, why did you wait till June 15th? To sign up for the June 16th session. Don't do that. Go to the website or give them a call and get yourself in there early. Get your kids having a wonderful summer. 639-3200 is the number for the rec center. And the Cottonwood Rec Center is such a cool place. Anything you guys do over there is so awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kirsten Hastings, who is the Youth Programs Coordinator over at the Cottonwood Parks and Rec Center, and Robert Valentine, our favorite camp counselor. Thank you guys for coming to be in the studio today. Really appreciate it. And I know I'll be seeing you over the summer. I wish I was 12. They didn't do fun things like this. You should have seen my camp. Boy, we won't talk about that. But we've got lots more of the Verde Valley Experience coming up, so don't go away.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. I'm here now with Ginger Mason, who is Verde Valley's own turquoise specialist. I'm so excited she's in the studio. Ginger, thank you for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. No problem.
It's so wonderful what you do with turquoise. It's amazing. I can see that you have a passion.
Oh, yes. I've always had a passion for turquoise, and it's just been a part of my life for many years, and I have to wear it every day.
Yeah,
And,
I would wear it every day. I'm not wearing it today because I didn't want to like turquoise out the audience, but
But
I'd spare you from that. But
it's a great stone, and of course, being out in the Southwest, you associate the Southwest with turquoise.
that's true. That's
So-
true. So tell us, what is turquoise?
Turquoise is actually a byproduct of the metals that are mined, particularly. It's formed from mostly copper mining, or the copper that's in the earth, and there's zinc and aluminum and iron, which determine the different colors of turquoise.
Right.
And in a summary, it's water that is seeped down into the earth and over a long period of time settles in certain crevices and fissures and forms into a hard substance called turquoise.
Really?
And some of it, the deeper it is, usually the little bit harder it is, and the closer to the surface, a little bit more porous.
Wow.
And the colors are determined on the minerals that are around it.
Sure.
And I have a lot of examples here today.
Right.
As you can see, colors from turquoise can range from almost a yellowish green all the way up to a nearly black or a deep blue or navy blue. And a lot of the mines today are closed, but there's still a couple producing.
Oh, yeah.
And
Now, why have the mines closed? Is it?
well, they've just worked them out, or the metals are more important than the turquoise, so they actually destroyed the turquoise in the process of extracting the metals.
Wow, that's terrible.
And, yeah, it's really a shame, but really the heyday of the Southwest turquoise mining is probably mid-century or so, maybe a little bit earlier, and actually mining turquoise and the metals started a couple thousand years ago. The Native Americans, turquoise to them is sacred. It's a sky stone, a water stone, and they feel that the rain and their tears would seep down into the earth and create turquoise over time.
How about that?
So it's really
well, no wonder
sacred
I
to
like
them.
it so much.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't? It's totally awesome.
Yeah, and it ranges in some absolutely gorgeous colors. The brightest blues are, of course, the most popular because it's a stunning color, and it's just beautiful to the eye, and people just enjoy wearing it because of the colors.
Right.
And everybody has their preference. But I do have some examples
I know.
of different types of turquoise. They all come from different mines, and mines are actually, the name of the turquoise in particular are identified by the name of the mine. So there are mines in Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado. Those are most popular. Most of them are no longer mined. There's only a couple open.
And they have some wonderful names too, like Sleeping Beauty. And
Sleeping Beauty, which is just a gorgeous color. It's kind of an all blue, looks similar to this, just an all blue in Arizona here near Globe. And that's where you find most of the blues is in the southern portion, eastern and southern portion of Arizona. And they have the brightest, there's more copper mining down there, a lot of copper formed in there. Here's another piece that's from the Morenci.
Is amazing.
Isn't that
Morenci,
gorgeous?
Yeah,
and it's just really a beautiful piece.
Just so blue. It's just shocking.
Yeah.
That
Well,
this is a gorgeous chunk of turquoise. It's huge. See how big this thing is? It's huge.
And that's probably a deeper portion of the vine, or the vein, excuse me. And then you also have a lot of turquoise that has these different matrix, they call it, which is the host rock or mother rock. So that when it's formed in these little fissures and areas, you still have the host rock in there with it, and it can make some beautiful pieces. So it's not a problem having those.
No, I think it's
in there.
so very interesting to see all this melange of different colors, the blues, the greens, and the browns. And I love the turquoise with the ribbons of brown and the chunks of other things in them. I think they're just so fascinating.
And they have, mystical qualities depending on, the Native Americans, of course, love it because of the spiritual qualities. But years and years ago, it was a lot of the miners and the military people would carry turquoise with them because it was a healing stone. It helped with all kinds of ailments. Consumption was one of them. Help you get through that kind of thing. So they always carried turquoise with them.
Sure. And you've got wonderful examples of rough rocks here, but some of them, I wouldn't pick this up if I saw it.
Some of them,
it looks like a clump of rock, but does have some blue spots in it.
Right. And that's actually how you find most of it. This is called chalk turquoise, where you do have some good sturdy pieces in there that have a little bit of dimension to it. But, you have mostly your host rock in here. But as I mentioned, these little pockets and areas that probably used to be air was filled in by these liquids and then formed in these little bubbles and pockets. And it used to be, before people actually mined it, you could find little nodules on the surface, and pick them up. And I have a few that I didn't purchase or didn't bring, but kind of a nodule that you can find and kind of pick it out of the ground. And
well, that's true. Thousands of years ago, they weren't mining, so to speak.
So it was in more abundance.
It was like scattered all over the ground.
But this is called chalk turquoise, and you actually have to stabilize something like this to keep it together because it's very crumbly and so you have to impermeate it with a resin mix or something to keep it together so that you can actually cut it and slice it and form something out of it.
That's what you do before you cut it and slice it. Now, talk to us a little bit about stabilization, because people ask all the time, has this turquoise been stabilized? realize, oh yes, it hasn't, and they go, oh no, now. It's something that you have to do that makes it stay together. So it's not a bad thing that turquoise has been stabilized.
No, it's not a bad thing at all. In fact, most of the turquoise that comes out of the ground now, especially since there's not much left over, is this powdery kind of substance. And you have to stabilize it, as I mentioned. And they soak it in a resin mixture. And it does bring out the color. It's kind of like wetting a rock. When you get it wet with something, it looks totally different than if it's just dry and chalky like this. But if I were to try and cut this and slice it, it would just kind of fall apart and crumble. And but I want to make something out of it, so I need to stabilize it by permeating or soaking it in something that'll hold it together, so that I can actually work with it.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, we know there's fake turquoise out there.
Oh yes.
Which is created by taking a bunch of different things and sticking them together, basically.
Yeah, there's several different ways for faux turquoise or fake turquoise, and there is just a colored resin block, you know, that they form in blocks. They color it and they put little, pretty much plastic, and they put little matrix in it to make it look real. But you can still make some beautiful things out of it because turquoise is so expensive now, and you can't get a hold of it most of the time. You know, they are substituting it with imitations, and that's okay. You know, if it's beautiful and you like it, that's all that really matters. If it makes you feel good to wear it, whether it's imitation or not, that's what really matters. But if you're in the market for a real good piece of turquoise, the best place to find something like that would be at a reputable place that's dealt with turquoise for a really long time, situated in an area that actually has turquoise, you know, familiarity. Chinese turquoise. Turquoise is from all over the world, and Chinese turquoise right now is about 80% of the market. And they do have some really beautiful turquoise, but most of it is treated by coloring it or stabilizing it. And you know, putting a lot more resin than there is actually turquoise. And then you can crush up one of these powdery rocks and mix it with a resin and make it into a block and use that too. You can still call it turquoise, but it's just done a little bit differently so that you can actually slice and cut it and work with it.
Sure. Well, how can you tell if you're looking at a piece of jewelry somewhere, what are a couple of things real quick that we can look at and go, okay, well that doesn't look right, or how can we tell a fake from a real one?
Well, first of all, if somebody comes up to me and says, okay, is this real or not? The first thing I do is I try and feel it and see if it's cold or not. It's just like with jade or any other actual natural rocks. They will have a temperature, and they tend to keep a little bit of a cooler temperature than your resins. Your resins and plastics tend to be a little bit warmer or not quite as cold. That's your first indication. But there are a lot of fakes out there that can imitate that too. But that's at least somewhat of a guide. And then also, if you tap it, it'll have a little bit different sound sometimes. It'll have more of a higher ticking sound. And the plastics will have a duller sound. That's another way.
There you go.
Otherwise,
listen to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just look at it carefully. If it looks like, you know, a liquid smeary,
Ew.
you know, it doesn't look like a rock, for instance. You know, here's a piece that's just a raw piece, and then you have a polished, pretty area here, but you can actually see the little, if you ask them for a loop or a magnifier, you can actually see the little natural parts that are in the rock.
There you go. See, we want you to be prepared if you're in the market for buying turquoise. We want you to be educated. Thank you, Ginger, for being here and educating us on turquoise. I know we could keep talking for about 4 hours. There's so much more to know, and I'm so sorry it's such a short segment, but thank you so much for bringing so much beautiful stuff. I hope you learned something. You can always email Ginger if you have any questions, or give her a call. She'd be happy to answer any questions, I'm sure, and talk to you for 4 hours about turquoise, everything you wanted to know. Now, don't go away, because we have more show, and we'll be right back. Thank you, Henry.
every budget, so don't accept defeat.
Now you can get covered and still buy me treats.
You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. Our next guests today are Bill Anderson and Lisa Russell, who are viticulture and enology students there over at the Yavapai College. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
It's such a fancy name for the growing of grapes and the making of wine. Viticulture and enology.
Yes, to remember it, we say science of the vine, science of the wine.
Oh, okay.
Makes it a little easier for us.
That makes sense. So viticulture is the science of vineyards.
The vine.
Exactly.
The vine.
Cultivating the vine.
Sure. And enology, where does that come from?
Sounds Greek.
Truly, which would make sense because the Greeks loved to party. So it makes sense.
Yes.
And that is the science of making wine.
That's right.
Enology.
That's right.
You guys are studying the coolest thing. I am so jealous.
Yeah.
What,
love it.
What a great program that must be.
Well, Lisa wanted to do this, and I wanted to play with Lisa since I'm retired.
Oh, father and father and daughter, in case you hadn't noticed.
Depends on how I dress.
There you go. Yeah. I used to get it all the time. I know, at least it's not a husband and wife thing. Me and my dad hang out, and they're like, oh, is your wife? My dad.
Too many times, yes, I know.
Oh, I bet that does happen to everybody. But so it's a family affair. That is really, really cool. How long have you guys been involved in this program?
Since January of last year.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we're about halfway through, which is kind of neat.
Good. Answers my next question. How long is the program?
Yeah, the program, there's several paths people can take, actually. You can just get a certificate in enology or a certificate in the viticulture part, or you can get an associate's and do both.
All right.
So we're actually in the associates, on that path.
Excellent.
So
going all the way.
Going all the way, exactly.
That is so cool. And Lisa, you've been named Yavapai College's Outstanding Student in Viticulture.
Which was a wonderful surprise.
How did you earn that?
I was sort of taken aback and pleasantly surprised by it, actually.
Yeah.
And I work part-time in the school vineyard as well as I'm a student, so I think maybe the combination of the two, and I'm a terminal student, if you will, so I ask maybe too many questions, but I think that's why.
I was working for you.
Curiosity.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Honor.
Yeah, I was really, like I said, very...
very cool. So tell me about the Verde Valley Wine Consortium, Bill. What is that?
Well, Lisa can help me with this, but basically it's an organization, a professional organization of winemakers and people interested in the wine industry. And their mission is to promote, enhance, and connect the various parts of the wine community in the Verde Valley area. So I don't know how long they've been around, but there's quite a few pioneers in the industry, in the association and the consortium.
Definitely, as far as Arizona. I mean, Arizona's only been growing wine now for just a handful of years.
Yeah, actually down south, 20 plus, and up in the Verde, little less than half of that.
Right.
But we have quite a few vineyards that have been growing grapes for 10 plus years up here in the Verde Valley.
Wonderful.
But the consortium really is this wonderful melting and melding of the various components of the wine industry. So you've got vintners and vineyard managers and people that are on the marketing side, social media side. So it's a great support network and great networking opportunity for people.
I bet. And you guys have the 4th annual wine symposium coming up, which is it benefits you.
It
The
definitely.
Verde Valley Wine Consortium. So that's cool. So tell us, what is going to be happening at the 4th annual wine symposium? It sounds really interesting.
Lots of things. There'll be presentations by industry leaders. There'll be a presentation by the director of the Arizona Liquor Licensing and Control Board. There'll be a fellow talking about grants if you want to get some bucks to do what you need to do in the industry. There'll be wine and food pairings. There'll be a raffle.
Is this a raffle prize?
Oh, yes.
Raffle prize.
Oh my gosh, did you guys see the size of this wine? It's as big as I am. No, just kidding.
And you do have to share that.
Well,
if you win it.
You should.
I would hope
It would
you
be
would share
beneficial
that.
to your health. Share that. It would take me about 3 months to finish that.
Yes.
You know,
I wish I could say that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm a, yeah, me after a little bit of wine, I could sniff the cork and be like, woo, right on. Cheap date, as they say.
Yes,
So.
yes.
Wow, and raffles, that's amazing, you know.
Well, and I
great
think,
prize.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a great example of what will be raffled off, but there's also going to be a People's Choice wine tasting.
Right.
The symposium itself will be from 9 to 6 p.m. On May 30th. So it's an all-day affair, but we'll have some wonderful speakers in the morning. At noon, we'll begin the wine tasting. And then there'll be food trucks with some local vendors that are going to be there. We're really trying to support the local businesses.
Sure, yeah.
And then, as my pop just said, there'll be some really interesting panels, some food and wine, wine and chocolate, which, hello, exactly.
By Jason Wasser.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How
So
about that?
I've seen his confections online, and they look beautiful.
they're like little works of
assuming
art.
they
They're
taste
gorgeous.
Heaven,
Yeah.
wine and chocolate.
Wine and
Exactly.
chocolate.
Oh my gosh.
And then there's going to be a whole panel on if you wanted to begin a vineyard, what would it cost? What are the things you need to think about?
Right.
Which will dovetail really nicely with the grant writing workshop that Pop just mentioned. And then also integrated pest management. So for those that already have a vineyard and they want to do things in a more sustainably minded way, how do they integrate all of these practices that really need to happen in a vineyard?
Wow.
So it's...
Then Bill Cook of Harmony Gardens will be providing a grafting demonstration
Wow.
out in the open, and if you want to partake, you can do so. You just got to make sure you don't cut your fingers.
Right.
So we'll have EMTs on site just in case.
Nurse Ratchet standing
There you
over your
go.
shoulder
Oh, you
waiting.
bet.
Just wait. Go ahead, cut yourself. You guys got it all figured out. What
Well,
an
we're
amazing
trying.
thing.
Yes. We're just happy to be a part of it. We've been volunteering for a bit.
Wow.
And so in 2 weeks, it'll be the culmination of all that planning.
That's amazing. And
It is.
anyone can come and take part in
Yes.
symposium.
You don't have to be a wine snob.
Right.
At all. Yeah, in
But
fact,
there is a
it's...
special deal for students, I noticed.
There is. It's $25 for students, and that includes the tasting, which is really nice, and all the panel discussions. And then it's for others, the working professionals right now, $50 up until May 30th, and then the day of the event it's $60. So at the door.
Yes,
So it's really reasonable. And again, we're hoping that we'll get a wide variety of people, from hobbyists to people that are working
You're
in the
invited.
industry.
I love wine.
Hopefully
I
you'll
wanted
be
to be
there.
a sommelier so bad. I really,
Never
really
say
did.
never.
I
Never
know.
say
Never
never.
too
I
late.
took a course. I did take a course.
See?
It was on a cruise ship, but it was a lot of fun. I loved it. It was
If you
awesome.
drink this, you'll become...
I'll be an aficionado when I
sommelier.
finish that.
Yes.
I'll be an aficionado on that wine, for sure.
Yes.
This one you got to drink with 2 hands. This is an enormous bottle of
Oh,
wine.
yes.
And
We thought
I
of all
recommend a
funny
glass too.
Yeah.
So not just straight from the
Your
bottle.
arms would get tired
I think
with that
so.
one.
After
Or a
while.
large straw.
Yep.
Big
You
straw?
picked out the straw idea.
Yeah,
That'd be a very long bamboo straw to drink that one. Now, do you guys argue over wines?
No.
No? You like the same wines, so you don't
Well,
like
Not
it too
always.
much? Yeah?
Yeah, not always.
The wines taste differently to different people.
Oh, that is true.
And a lot of people say, well, how should this taste? And you look on the bottle and say, well, this is the way it's supposed to smell, this is the way it's supposed to taste. But that's really not the way you should enjoy wine. You should taste it and associate the tastes and the smells to things that are familiar with you, to you,
Right.
so you can remember it. So whatever, if it tastes good to you, it tastes good.
Right.
It doesn't have to cost $1,000 or a lot of money for you to enjoy good wine.
Sure,
So
that
it's
makes
important to
sense.
remember.
That's true. I do read the bag. It says, oh, it has hints of pear and vanilla or allspice.
I can never taste that.
Really? Half the time I don't either. So
Yeah.
it's amazing that you mentioned that. It does taste different to other people. And my husband will drink some and say, oh, and I'll go, oh, this is so good. And he'll go, oh, I don't,
Yeah.
or whatever.
It's very personal.
It is. It's
very
incredibly
personal. So it's just a hint on the back. It's a hint as far as
It
what you
is.
may taste. You may
Right.
taste some allspice or some currant or something.
Or what the winemaker's intent was for the wine.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's
Yeah.
it's always neat to hear the story, the backstory.
Right.
What they're looking for in the wine. But
Sure.
The weirdest expression I ever heard is wet concrete. It tastes like wet concrete. How do you know that? Unless
I
you've
would know how.
been going around licking concrete.
Wet concrete has a smell, and you can taste that smell. It's one of those heavy smells.
It rained today, so I was thinking about just
wet
licking the
concrete.
sidewalk, just to see what it tastes like.
I love the description of what is it? Barn.
yes,
Barnyard
Barnyard.
tasting, barnyard,
Barnyard.
and dirt.
Yes, or very meaty.
Yeah,
or
meaty.
Pencil shavings, or
Get out pencil shavings.
pencil shavings. A lot of times, Pinot Noir will be associated with pencil shavings. Yeah, so it is, but it's so incredibly subjective, and part of the fun is developing your own palate and your own ways of describing the wines. And events like this really, I think, lend well to that, because you get to. We're going to have over, I think there's 14 wineries here in the Verde Valley that are going to be present, so you can taste the sweet nectar of each one of them and compare and have your notes and just kind of build your palate from there.
Exactly.
So, and it's, I don't know if we mentioned, it's going to be at Yavapai College.
Yes, the Clarkdale campus.
Correct. Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Right next to the Southwest Wine Center, which is part of the college.
Is it? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
And that's another just really interesting aspect is that as a student, you get to touch everything. So from soils all the way up to then harvest and then processing, making the wine, and then eventually we'll have a wine tasting room that will be open to the public.
Fantastic.
And as a student, you get to experience the full circle.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, good for you guys. I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
No need
Well, you can always come join us.
Really cool.
Yes.
That's really awesome. Thank you for being here today.
Yes.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
You're very, very welcome. And don't forget, May 30th, which is a Saturday, the Verde Valley Wine Consortium is having the annual symposium. So you want to make sure you get there. And we'll be right back, so don't go away.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right. So it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're going to take the laces, we're going to cross them over, we're going to turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. Now we are here in one of, I think, the coolest places in the world. We are at Sunset Crater National Monument. I'm here with Floyd Healer, who's been a volunteer here for over 30 years. Thank you so much for volunteering to do the interview.
Yeah, glad to be here.
That's really awesome. Now tell us a little bit about this amazing place. Now I know that a little over 900 years ago the volcano erupted and changed the landscape and the lives of everyone living near it. And since then it's gone through some other changes too.
Yes, the volcano erupted somewhere between 1050 and 1100. It built a cinder cone about as big as you're going to see in a few minutes. Then there was lava flows that came out. The lava flow on a cinder cone volcano usually comes out the base. So what we're standing here in is a lava flow that's about 1.5 miles across. When Sunset erupted, it actually came up in the middle of a stream bed. And so the lava that came out this side actually formed a lava lake. And about, as I said, about 1.5 miles across. And what you're standing in is about, probably about 80 or 90 feet of lava going down below us here.
Wow.
The thickest part is probably well over 100 feet.
Wow.
Yeah. And Sunset was established as a national monument in 1930. There was a film crew that came out from Hollywood, and they were going to, there's debate about what they were either going to cause the volcano to erupt by putting a bunch of tires up there and setting them on fire, or exploding one side to produce an avalanche.
Who'd have thought?
However, people in Flagstaff got together, and they petitioned President Hoover at the time, and he signed the proclamation making Sunset a national monument.
Thank goodness.
The volcano is important for two things, really. It's the youngest volcano in Arizona, and it is also associated with the Sonowan Native Americans that lived in this area. They were living before the eruption, and they came back after the eruption. So it actually separates two different times for their lives here. Before the eruption, they were basically living in pit houses. After the eruption, the ash and cinders that blew out towards the towards the east and north, actually covered the land down there with a layer of ash about 6 inches deep. And when the Indians came back to that area, they found it did two things. Number one, the ash acted as a mulch, retaining moisture. And the other thing it did was it increased the growing season. In the summer, the land would heat up quicker, and it would stay warmer longer in the fall. So the land was much more fertile down there. And all the ruins you see at Wapatki were actually after the eruption. About 1100 to about 1250, the Native Americans were living down there. And you probably get more information about that when you get down to Wapatki.
Sure.
And the visitation here, we are about 15 miles north of Flagstaff on Highway 89. And this is just for everybody's benefit. When you come up here, please turn off your GPS. Sometimes it tries to lead you down Forest Service roads that are not very good for sedans. We have a nice paved road coming in here.
Easy access.
Yeah, easy access. The entrance fee is $5 per person, 16 and older. Children are free. We do honor all of the National Park passes, the senior pass, the access pass, and of course the American the Beautiful. And
goodness gracious.
The wind is coming up. We do have wind here.
Yes. And you want to wear good shoes.
Yeah, I want to wear good
shoes. Good shoes while you're here.
The lava here is sharp. We ask people to stay on the trail. You fall on this stuff, you only want to do that once.
No, you'd be leaving some skin behind, I'm afraid, and 3 layers of denim and all, whatever else you got.
Okay. Do you have any other?
Well, sure. Now, when you're here, lava's everywhere. Now, there are certain hiking trails. There's several
this little
different
trail
hiking
that
trails.
we're standing on here is about, it's about 150, 200 yards long. It's a good introduction to the lava flow. There is a small volcano called Lennox, which is also at this parking lot. And it goes up to the top of a little old volcano here. It's like trying to climb a 300-foot sand dune. We tell people it's usually 20 minutes up and 5 minutes down.
Sure.
Another quarter mile on the right is a parking area for our self-guided nature trail. That's about a mile walk. The first quarter mile is paved and level. And we've just opened a new little handicap access trail that goes out to overlook some of the other lava in the area.
And that's really wonderful that you've done that, because it's accessible for everyone. Like you say, nice paved road. If the road's not paved, you went the wrong way.
Yeah, I tell people if you get on a dirt road, you're lost.
You are definitely lost. And then once you're here, there's paved paths that take you to overlooks. You can do these relatively decent trails. They're not too bad. They are kind of rocky and lumpy and a few steps up and down, but really I didn't find too strenuous of a hike. I've hiked pretty much all of them in here. And the industrious ones, yes, go up the low face there. Something for everyone.
If anybody's interested in a long hike, there is a mountain behind us called O'Leary, and there's a Forest Service road that goes up there, and the hike is 10 miles round trip, and you gain 2,000 feet in elevation.
Wow.
However, in my opinion, it's the best view in Arizona. You get to see into the top of Sunset and the whole surrounding area.
Well, that's awesome. That's great. The views here are just stunning. Everywhere you look, it's gorgeous. The lava flows, the colors. You don't think that things are going to be different colors. And of course, you've got the lichen growing and all the different animals, the reptiles and the cute little tufted-eared squirrels that you don't see anywhere else. It's really neat. And it's great for the whole family. You can just come and hang out. There's picnic areas, there's bathrooms, there's a wonderful visitor center. You can check it out at nps.gov. So nps.gov, that's the website. They can find Sunset Crater National Monument right there on nps.gov. Check it out. It's definitely worth coming up here. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm glad you came.
Floyd Haler, volunteer for over 30 years.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
what you're doing. Appreciate you being here today. I'll go get
Glad
your
to be
hat.
here.
And don't go away because we'll be right back. Thank you.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Thanks for coming in for the interview.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right, we got your personal references, your resume, high school diploma or equivalent.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Yes, it's right there.
Great.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Cinderella found the pet that fits her perfectly. Tiana gave her pet the royal treatment. Belle found beauty where no one else did. And you can too. Share your heart. Share your love. Bring home your forever friend. Make a shelter pet part of your world. Happily Ever After begins at theshelterpetproject.org.
I wanna be free to do what I wanna do. I wanna be free to do what I wanna do. I ain't done yet, searching for something new. I don't want fame, but fortune would be nice. I said I don't want fame, but fortune would be nice. But if you're dreaming about the big time, you've got to pay the price. 'cause if you go for it all, you might just go for broke. But if you take it too easy, your life is just a joke. And if you're dreaming about tomorrow, it's time that you awoke. I don't want fame, but fortune would have been nice. I don't want fame, but fortune would be nice. You know, come on, baby, you've got to pay the price. Well, I want to be free to do what I want to do. I want to be free to do what I want to do. You know, I ain't done yet, searching for something new. I said I ain't done yet, I'm searching for something new.
All right. Very nice. Eric Williams, everyone. I bet during your performances you get a lot of yeah and oh yeah and people yelling and shouting.
Happens all the time.
I bet, I bet. Mr. One-Man Band here, the one-man show. As you can see, the energy you must expel during a show between jumping up and down and changing. Wow, how do you keep track of all that?
Once I get going on a song, I'm not even aware of what's going on. It just kind of takes over. The music takes over, and I'm just along for the ride.
Sure, I can see that. I can see the joy and expression. That's awesome. And believe it or not, this lovely young man here has been performing for 30 years around Sedona, which is, I just can't fathom that. But you said you started when you were
17.
Wow.
Yeah.
As soon as you got your driver's license, right?
Yes.
You jumped in the car and started performing. That's a great story.
Yeah, and that was back in Pittsburgh, PA.
Wow.
And I've been to Nashville and Memphis and lived at the Grand Canyon for a couple years, but I've been in Sedona for 20 years.
Wow. That's amazing. That's a long time in one spot.
Yeah.
Sedona. Jeez. Now, you have such a huge repertoire. It's hard to even sum it up, but you said everything from ragtime to rockabilly, which are two awesome genres of music. Lots of fun there.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. And then you do vocal impersonations. I heard Elvis, little Jerry Lee Lewis, little Ray Charles in there.
Nat King Cole, Fats Domino, little Johnny Cash.
Oh, that's amazing. That you're talented alone that you can play 5 different instruments. But then the fact that you can vocally impersonate, a dozen of the most famous, most wonderful Elvis is one of my favorites. But you can't sing him because I'll swoon, and that would be no good for TV. So, but the amount of talent in you, I just applaud you for that. That's super.
Well, hey, thank you very much, and thanks for having me on the show. This is really an honor.
You're very welcome. Now, you do a lot of performing about town. You have weekly gigs.
Yeah.
You play at Sedona Rouge at Red's.
Yeah.
And that is on?
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday from 6 to 9?
Correct.
That's right. And then there's also at the Marketplace Cafe in VOC
Yep.
from 6 to 9, and that's Thursdays?
Correct.
Excellent. See, I got this down. That's a lot of gigs. And then you're busy because you also play other places. Tell us a couple of the other places that you do gigs.
Well, the two main ones, Reds has been about 6 years now that I've been at Reds on Wednesdays. And the Marketplace, I've been there off and on for years, but now I'm there officially on Thursdays every week. Those are the two main ones. But every week I fill in with a lot of lessons. I teach a lot of private lessons on piano and sax and guitar and different instruments. And then I also play private parties and private functions. I travel all around. I recently played some ragtime gigs in Tonopah, Nevada.
Wow.
Out in the middle of the desert, and it's an old ragtime saloon with the old-time upright piano.
Oh, way too cool. And I know you have the outfit for it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you have 4 different CDs out.
Yes, I do.
Which is amazing. And you also have a Facebook, Eric Williams Music on Facebook. You can also check him out on the YouTube channel, Eric Williams Music YouTube channel. Yeah. So you're pretty easy to find, which is really, really nice. And if they're interested in a CD, how do they come across those?
Well, I wish I was more high-tech savvy and could tell you a whole bunch of websites to go. Your best bet is to come and catch me at one of my gigs, and I'll have a whole stack of them just waiting for you.
Right. Okay. See, and that's the best way to do it anyway, because then you get to meet you, and then you can say, I got this right from Eric Williams' hands. He touched this.
Yeah, I'll even sign it for you.
Well, how about that? Well, that is really awesome. Now tell us about the next song you're going to play.
Well, back in the old days, there was ragtime piano. This is 1890s we're talking. And Scott Joplin was one of the big composers. And in all the old Western movies, there's always the guy sitting there with the striped shirt and the vest and the armbands.
Right.
So you got to get
hold up the shirt? Is that all they do?
Yeah. So that way when you're playing all the really fast notes on the ragtime, the sleeves don't get in the way. It's kind of like being a magic act.
Excellent.
But you can't forget the hat.
Truly. Man's not a man without a hat.
The derby hat, kind of the bowler.
Very handsome.
Anyway, so here's a little Scott Joplin ragtime.
Well, that's
Is it okay for me to start it right now?
Absolutely. Gosh, we cannot get enough of that. So Eric Williams, everybody check him out on Facebook, Eric Williams Music. Also look at that YouTube channel, Eric Williams Music. Check him out at the Sedona Rouge at Reds at the Marketplace Cafe. Look for him around town. Keep tabs on this fella. He's got all your favorites. Really appreciate you being here.
Oh, hey, thank you so much
for coming. Appreciate you being on the show. And thank you all for watching the Verde Valley Experience. I'll see you next time.